real quick, guys, before we get into the video, we just realized we did not mention this in the video.
Right.
So actually, we booked a flight with Frontier Airlines right before this trip, and they canceled on us. Here is our receipt. As you can see, they just straight canceled on us, no explanation whatsoever. We had a nice little trip planned to go to Houston, but we couldn't go. So that should have been a warning for us real quick. And we were debating on if we should even post this video, but we just have to let you guys know our personal experience with Frontier Airlines. So without further ado,
keep it real with you.
Get into the video.
Let's go. Today we're going to try Frontier Airlines. This will be our first time flying them. It's a pretty affordable ticket, so we'll see what Frontier Airlines has to offer and share the experience with you guys. Let's do it.
As soon as we were eager to get on the plane, there was some bad weather coming in, and of course our flight got delayed. So update. There is a Virgin Air?
Virgin
Airlines
international flight that's going to London that's literally still here.
It's still at the gate.
We're supposed to be boarding already right now.
Yeah. So. But I'm not going to fault Frontier for this because it's literally a completely different airline at our gate. It's some bad weather. It's lightning and thunder and storming. So our plane could be like just waiting for air traffic control to tell them it's safe to land.
Yeah, it looks like we have like some pilot switch outs that are here as well as some flight attendants. So maybe they're trying to get on as well. So we'll see. We all stood there for about another hour, even the pilots and the crew. We just stood there. No one seemed to know what was going on. We eventually got a text alert alerting us of the obvious delay. Basically what's happening is we have a flight delay.
Apparently you're spinning around and apparently every time you get dizzy.
Yes.
Right? The Frontier Airlines flight that we were supposed to be getting on, which we will be getting on, was an international flight from Mexico. So they had to park the plane, refuel it, obviously get the passengers off if there are any passengers on it. So that's going to take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour before we can even start boarding the plane. Delays.
Yeah. We don't know if this is due to the weather. Frontier, came in on time.
Right.
Well, they were here, but they weren't at the gate. So everyone's flights are delayed. So we're not going to put this solely on Frontier. We think it's due to the weather. Well, 2 very long hours later, we were finally able to board the plane. And since our flight was delayed 2 hours, and many other flights were delayed, there were no seats at the gate for many of us to sit at. So a lot of us were standing for those 2 hours. So we were very, very grateful to finally get on the plane so we could actually just sit down. Speaking of sitting down and getting to our seats, Frontier Airlines will charge you if you select to have your seat. So we push the option that says, hey, Frontier Airlines, pick our seat for us because we're very cheap and we do not want to pay for a seat assignment. So just a word of advice, go ahead and select that option if you don't want to be nickeled and dimed. Also, the luggage that we are carrying would be considered personal items. If you have a carry-on or a checked bag, they will charge you for that. As far as the seating was concerned, we do have leg room on the plane, so we actually were kind of happy that neither one of our knees were touching the backs of the seats. But at the same time, we still wanted to make sure we sanitize both of our areas because with everything going on, you want to do your own diligent work. I think I'm the only one that still reads the safety pamphlet inside of any airline that I get on. No matter how many times I fly, I still like to read it. Frontier Airlines pamphlet was pretty much the same. You got your little cartoon pictures that show you, hey, this is what you do in case of an emergency. Nothing really much different than any other airline pamphlet that I've seen. But I will tell you, when I went to the menu, those prices were actually a little high in my opinion. So if you are getting on a Frontier airline, just know that you will not receive any free snacks. Just like Southwest gives you free snacks, you're not going to get any free snacks here. So come full and have your whistle already wet because, baby, you will have to pay if you want a glass of water, a gulp of air, or a peanut. During takeoff, there were no issues. The flight wasn't bumpy. It was actually a pretty smooth ride. Like we said, it was a storm that was coming in, so We didn't have a problem with the flight. The problem at hand was once we landed at our final destination, we literally sat at the gate, still on the plane, doors closed and locked for an hour. No air, no power, just sitting there. No announcement, no update. People started yelling, and it was kind of a scary situation, and we were just so ready to get off of the plane. We felt so bad for the flight attendants working that evening. Well, we just received word that our returning flight with Frontier Airlines was delayed.
Come on, man.
Yeah, crazy, man. No more Frontier. Done with you.
And it was delayed by like 3 or 4 hours. So yeah. So now we are rushing. We just pulled up to Atlanta International Airport. We're gonna try to see if we can get on standby. I just got off the phone with customer service at Frontier, and they said the only way we can try to get home sooner is to come to the airport and talk to them at the gate. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't understand. Where's Frontier at? That's Spirit, JetBlue, okay, I'll be back. We rushed to the ticket gate in hopes of getting some good news about leaving on time. We are next in line. Hopefully we can get a sooner flight. If not, stand by for a sooner flight. Fingers crossed. You want to tell them?
Nah, you tell me.
Basically, our flight got delayed because they canceled a bunch of flights.
Yeah.
So they only had one flight now for the morning and one for the evening, versus like, I think it was like 5 flights that they were doing Atlanta to Orlando.
Yeah.
We asked about standby. They said there were no standbys available for today. And we were like, well, what about any sooner flights? She was like, all of the flights are booked and overly booked. So I don't even know how you overly book, but Frontier, I don't know. So basically, guys, I guess this is gonna end the video. We're gonna have to sit in the airport for like 8 hours now. And do you recommend flying with Frontier?
Nope, don't fly with Frontier. Nope.
All right, well, until next time, guys. Peace.
Before we go, we wanted to let you know that Frontier Airlines did send us both a $50 voucher that will expire very soon. So let us know in the comments section, A, have you ever flown on Frontier Airlines? And B, do you think we should try our luck again with Frontier Airlines and use the voucher? Or C, should we just cut our losses?